do when I'm stuck inside you. This cell of ice and fire, what blood red death, lost in desire, smell of life.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back once again. Whole Damn Enchilada podcast. Rick Fulton, Ryan Inman. How you doing, brother?
Tired, man. Just enjoying some of this. I won't say the brand name because they don't sponsor us, but delicious Australian red licorice.
Yeah, we got to get a sponsor or two. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, we need. Actually, you can't see it through the cup. I'm like, I need a coffee sponsor for me.
Yeah. They got those that one coffee company that makes coffee for like everybody and puts their name and logo and shit on it. But I'm pretty sure it's all the same coffee. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like bands and fucking everybody. And like they sell it on behalf of literally every company that's ever existed. Maybe we could do that.
It's a smart marketing idea.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because they're making a ton and the people are actually hawking their shit. What's up, Jared? Jared Haggerty says, "What's up, fuckers?" He said he's gonna cut out around 8 because of the draft. I said we'll probably be wrapped up by then.
It's kind of weird, man. This is the first time in a long time that neither the Browns or the Bucks have had a high draft pick.
Oh, I was gonna ask you that in the pregame when your pick was, but I guess it isn't today.
Oh, it is, but it's at the end of the round because they made the playoffs. The Bucks made the playoffs and won a playoff game, so our pick is real late.
Yeah.
And Cleveland doesn't have one because Houston has it from the Deshaun Watson trade.
Yeah. He says he might take off a little earlier. He's got wings on the way soon. Speaking of wings, went downtown to go to the Guardians game. It's so hard for me to call them the Guardians, and I don't care that they changed the name. It doesn't bother me at all. It's just so hard to get used to. I almost said Indians, but no, I like it. I'm okay. I don't like that name. I would have wanted something else, but I don't care.
I like it.
Well, I know you do because you use that as your handle in one of your socials before they even thought of it.
Yeah, I
did. So we went downtown, met up with my nephew and my son from the Whole Damn Enchilada Wrestling Podcast, live on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. It kicked me off, man.
I saw that.
Nevertheless. So I went and met him down there at the Butcher and the Brewer. And you ever been there, Butcher and the Brewer?
No, I've heard of it, though.
Really good place. They got decent beers. And on one side of it, it was an actual butcher where they would cut a steak for you or whatever they have you. And they did these really awesome meat and cheese boards where they would cut like all the fancy Italian meats and cheeses and everything. So like is an antipasta board different than a charcuterie board, or are they both still the same thing?
They're different. Charcuterie board is more of the actual board, whereas antipasta board is more of what the ingredients on the board are.
Right. I was thinking the same thing. So this is more, more antipasta because you get, like the prosciutto and all that good stuff. So,
gabagool, the capicola.
Yeah. But I go in there, and that was my whole plan. I was going to order one of those for the table, have a beer or two, and get out of there. Well, I guess they stopped selling them. Then nobody was buying them, but they were like the best. So I'm like, fuck. I got they do whole smoked wings. So I just grabbed those instead. Best freaking wings on the planet, dude. Best wings on the planet. They are freaking amazing. I want to go back there just to get wings. I thought about it like later.
You ever eat the wings at the Red Rose Cafe in Lakewood?
No, I haven't. See, we gotta educate Jared here. See, he says they were named that because they were the first team with an actual Native American. That is not true.
That's not true.
The team that had the Native American that they're allegedly named after, and I say allegedly because it's not true. It's propaganda. Was called the Cleveland Spiders. That was a National League team in Cleveland that existed prior to the Indians, and they sucked balls. They were like one of the worst teams in history. They had like I mean, they literally have. They think it still holds. I think they have the worst record of all time. But that guy was Louis Sockalexis.
Yeah,
he's the guy that they were allegedly named after.
And they made fun of the guy constantly.
Exactly. They would say, "Here comes the Indians," in a bad way when the team was playing, and he was a drunk, and he was this, and he was that. It wasn't that to honor him.
No, it wasn't.
Award-winning St. John's, Michigan Jason is in the house. What's up, guys? What's up? But again, I had no problem with them calling the Indians. I didn't care. I didn't care that it was racist. I mean, 100 years. They had 5 names before they were the Indians. It's not like, change the name. Doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter to me.
No, I like the Guardians though because I love those statues, man.
Tell the truth, man. I'm a diehard Browns fan, but I wouldn't be mad if they changed their name. I think it's a stupid name.
I agree.
The name after a person.
Yeah.
Keep the colors though, because I got too much orange and brown shit.
Named after a person who went and coached one of your rivals.
Yeah. That person is pretty much directly responsible for the whole AFC North.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
He founded the Browns, then he founded the Bengals, then his team, the Browns, moved to Baltimore and became the Ravens.
Yeah.
And Chuck Noll was one of the messenger guards that he had, which were basically like an offensive coordinator when he was when he was coaching the team. Him and Don Shula were messenger guards because that's how they didn't have the radios in the helmet. Even though he invented it right about that time, they weren't perfected. Paul Brown invented the radio in the helmet, and he would have a guard switch in and out and call the plays because back then most quarterbacks called their own plays except ours because Paul Brown wanted 100% control, and that's why you got to take a little bit away from old Otto Graham, in my opinion, because everybody else was calling their own plays and he wasn't. But that gets me a lot of hate from Browns fans saying shit like that.
Then they're stupid.
Well, But okay. So we are here tonight to talk about the topic that you guys all requested many, many, many times.
Yep.
When we were talking about reviewing Friday the 13th films. Tonight we're going to do the final chapter, Friday the 13th, Part 4.
Yeah, and I went back and kind of looked, and I'm pretty sure this is our most requested review.
Oh, yeah. About goddamn time, Jared says. Zigzag in the house says, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, there's a good reason. This is a highly, highly, highly requested review. I don't think I'm telling tales out of school or giving away any spoilers. Yeah. I think we both like this movie very much.
And most everybody does. It's very much universally liked. I've never heard anyone say it was bad. I mean, there's a couple in the series I've heard that people didn't like for whatever reason. I've heard people didn't like 1, people didn't like 2, people didn't like 3. Not a lot. But some people, some people didn't like 2 because they didn't like the sack look, or some people didn't like 1 because Jason wasn't in it.
Right.
And those people are stupid, but nevertheless, I've heard that opinion. I have not heard anyone say, that anything negative about 4 ever.
And I'm like you. I disagree with that opinion about Part 1, but I understand it.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't mean I gotta like it, but I get it.
No doubt.
Because there's a lot of people that are not necessarily Friday the 13th fans, but they're Jason fans, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Because I've heard a lot of negativity about 5. I've heard a few people, not so many, but a few people say things bad about 6.
I have 2.
7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of negative things about 6 because there's a lot of diehard, old school that just don't like Zombie Jason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of
that. They don't like any of them after Part 5.
I can't think of one person that's ever said something negative about 4. People will complain about anything. Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
But again, I haven't heard anybody complain about this movie. Sean Siffel in the house. What's up, brother?
Yeah, Sean Siffel is also a big fan of Part 4. I know that.
He was one of the people that was requested it multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah, and rightfully so.
I think he was. I think he voted for that when it was up against 6 when we were, before. Right on. So you want to just get right into the film, or did you have anything else you want to talk about before we get to this? Or
I think we should kind of stick to the similar format we did with 6 because this one's as far as all the ones.
I just didn't know if you had like other topics you wanted to go over.
No,
like,
man.
Seen any movies or anything cool like that?
I have, but we can talk about that shit next week or another time because again, the draft's tonight, and a lot of people are going to bounce out.
You got to get people out of here by draft night. See, Ziggy doesn't have to worry because his team won a bunch of playoff games this year and is picking like 28th or 29th.
Yeah, they beat my team.
Yeah.
So
Detroit played Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they beat them in the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember because that was when they were making the joke about the reporter not knowing it was inside.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be outside for about 30 seconds.
He said he could get used to that.
From the bus to the stadium, we'll be outside for about 30 seconds. I think we'll survive.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. He handled that very well.
How are you a fucking sports reporter and you ask that question?
Right.
If I was that bad at my job, oh my goodness. Anyway.
So, that's the wrong page. This is notes about the movie. Here's the sheet of the cast.
Yeah.
So, when was the first time you seen this movie? Do you remember?
I don't. I would say the first time I saw this one either would have had to have been on like late night HBO or from the video store. Which came first, I couldn't tell you. So I probably saw this one the first time in like late 85, early 86. Like once it hit video or like HBO,
Ziggy says about the reporter, same as the people that ask JLC if people wear hockey masks in front of her.
Yeah.
First one I watched, it was on the Freddy 1 and 2 VHS with the Halloween 80s commercials.
Oh yeah, he did mention that when we did the Friday the 13th rankings.
Zigzag says he's seen it in the theaters on its original run. Now I didn't. We were poor.
Yeah.
We grew up dirt poor. The first movie I ever went to, and I went to with a friend in the theater, was No Holds Barred.
Wow.
I want to say that was the first movie I ever seen in the theater. Pretty sure.
Holy shit.
That's because my friend paid. My mom couldn't pay for that shit.
What was that,
so
like?
We'd rent movies.
Was that like 89?
I don't know, man. They'd have to check it out.
Rip them.
Yeah. It was before Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because that was like I seen that in the theater too.
That was like 90 or 91.
I think that was 90 Ninja Turtles, but I want to say No Holds Barred was
89.
88, 89, yeah, because when he shot the movie, that's when he dropped the belt to Macho.
Yeah.
So you'd have to be around, or he didn't, drop the Macho. It got to Macho.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he started shooting it in like 88, so it probably came out in 89.
So
yeah, it was probably 10, my first movie.
Dropped it to Andre, and then they stripped it.
Yeah, and I went to the drive-in a couple times actually before that. Because I know I seen like we were talking before, I seen all the Ghostbusters movies at this drive-in, the Autorama, where they're gonna have all of the Dead movies this weekend.
Yeah, I'd love to go to that, but I got other engagement, unfortunately.
Well, Zigzag said he's gonna try to come down, so hopefully we could see him. But I seen Zig says 89 for the movie.
Yeah.
So
if that's the case, maybe I'll be able to hook up with you guys after when I'm done with my thing.
Okay, maybe. I mean, if you could get out there anyway and park close to there, you could just come in and if it's sold out, you won't have to get in, with your car.
Yeah. You
could just come in. We'll figure it out. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So first time I remember seeing it though is about the time I remember seeing it. Could have been more than 5 or 6 years old. So it had to be like right after it came out on VHS. It had to be a new release.
Same here.
Because we used to get all of them. And then we would get several of them and watch like several in one night, but not necessarily in order. So I don't know if I've seen this first, 3 first, or 2 first. I know I seen Jason before I ever seen 1 because I was like, wait a minute, where's Jason when I was watching part 1?
Mm-hmm.
So I know I seen 2, 3, or 4 afterwards. I remember the hockey mask first, and I remember the ending of 4 very vividly. So this might be the first one I ever seen. If not, then it was 3 or 2, but they were all right around the same time in like 84, 85. So I was really young, but I definitely didn't see it in the theater, unfortunately. I've seen others in the theater since. Like I've seen 1 in the theater. I've seen 2 in the theater, I think. I know I've seen 3. I've seen a bunch of them in the theater afterwards. Not this one though. Never this one. So we got to get maybe we get that Capitol Theater when they do their Halloween thing this year to put this as one of them. That'd be pretty sweet.
Because it is the 40th anniversary now.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. 84 to 24. That makes 40 years, don't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. You know, I'm just a public school kid, you know?
Yeah. Rick usually leaves the math to me, guys.
Yeah. The movie came out on Friday the 13th, though, April 13th, 1984.
Yeah, that's right.
Directed by Joseph Zito.
Of The Prowler. Yeah.
Of The Prowler, and that's it. I mean, he had other credits, but nothing we're talking about.
No heavy hitters like that, but yeah.
Yeah.
The Prowler with Farley Granger.
I imagine that The Prowler is how he got Tom Savini to come back for this, because Tom Savini was the effects guy on The Prowler, right?
Did do that. Yeah, that's true. And that's a big plus in this one, is bringing him back. Tom Savini, that is.
Yeah, Savini was really excited about being able to kill his creation.
Mm-hmm.
Do it his way with the effects the way that he wanted to look and everything. So we'll run through the cast real quick. I got 10 people written down. Maybe you got more. So we'll start. I'll put them in the order they were on IMDb. If you want to bring up somebody faster, we'll jump to it, whatever. So we got Eric Anderson, and that's Eric with an E-R-I-C-H.
That's Rob, right?
That's Rob.
Yeah. He's okay.
He was in a lot of soap operas, dumb stuff like that, network TV. Nothing really big, you know. He didn't really do anything. Yeah. Is it Judy or Jody Aronson?
Judy,
isn't it?
Judy Aronson.
Judy? Damn it.
Yeah.
I wrote Judy, but I thought it was Jody. But nevertheless, Samantha.
And I love her with all my heart.
Oh, yeah. You know, she was amazing. And she was also the killer in Fanboy 13, or one of the killers.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was the mastermind of the operation.
I remember her jamming with Stamos on Full House, too.
Oh, right on. Hell yeah, yeah. She was in a lot of 80s TV.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, you look at her now, you'd never guess she's like 60 years old. Yeah,
she was still looking good in Fanboy 13. She had the sex scene with Vinny DeSantis.
Lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah. And it still looked all the way live, man. 60, 70 years old almost. You got Peter Barton. He was Doug.
Matthew Starr.
Matthew Starr. I don't know what that is.
He was the star of a TV series called The Powers of Matthew Starr. He was from like outer space. And his co-star in that was Amy Steele.
Amy Steele. Yeah, I knew that he had some tie to Amy Steele because she recommended him to audition or something like that. There was yeah. I read that. I did not write it down
because that show happened between part 2 and part 4.
Okay.
So it hadn't happened yet when Amy did part 2, but it had its full run because it was only like a season and a half.
Right on.
And I actually watched that whole fucking thing a couple of years ago. It's on YouTube.
Is it good? You don't look like it's good.
No. It's entertaining, but good is not a word.
It's not a word we would use to describe this. Okay.
No. Now, the coolest part, though, I mean, it's cool to have Friday the 13th and Lemon there, but like the main guy, like his handler, is Louis Gossett Jr., who I'm a fan of.
Oh, right on. Yeah, who just passed recently. Rest in peace.
That's right.
Kimberly Beck, Trish.
Love her.
Oh, yeah, she's awesome. She's not the final girl, though.
Yes, she is.
In my opinion.
Well. Well,
what's
she
up?
she is an Alfred Hitchcock alum.
Yeah, where did I thought I wrote that down.
She played the little girl
word with
in
the M, Marnie.
Marnie. Yeah.
Oh, it's
With
on the next page here.
Tippi Hedren. I can't think of her fucking name. Her character. She's a little girl in that movie.
Yeah,
That
she's
movie came
being
out
babysat by Marnie, right?
by
I didn't see
Marnie's
the film.
mother. By
Marnie's
Marnie's mother. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't see the film, but I wrote that down as one of my cool facts.
Yeah, she was like a little brat getting her hair. She wanted her hair brushed like all the time.
And probably when I was doing this list, the reason I didn't write it there is I didn't recognize the movie Marnie when I was going
It's a
through
good
the
one,
credits.
man. With Sean Connery.
Oh, wow. Right on. I didn't know Sean Connery did an Alfred Hitchcock film.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
You know who Alfred
man.
Hitchcock got in his movies back then? Whoever the fuck he wanted.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Marnie's so great, man. There's some shots in that film that are just wow. Like,
yeah, I don't think that's in my 6 Alfred Hitchcock film box set that I got over
no,
there.
it's well known, but it's not one of it's not one of his best films, but it's still a must watch.
Yeah. So then we got the star of the show, Corey Feldman.
Love him.
Who maybe, I was thinking about this, is he the most accomplished actor to ever appear in the series?
No, Kevin Bacon.
You think Kevin Bacon?
1000%.
Yeah. So yeah, Kevin Bacon's probably been nominated for Oscars. Probably. I don't know if that's a fact. I'm just throwing it out there. Probably happened.
No, just off the top of my head though, dude's been in so many big movies, man.
Well, Corey Feldman, I got Stand By Me, The Lost Boys, Goonies, The Burbs, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah,
the original.
Yeah,
he was Donatello.
The voice, yeah.
Yeah, Gremlins. I mean, the guy, he was also in Fanboy 13. I thought he had the coolest character in Fanboy 13 too, because he's the only one that didn't play himself.
Yeah, he was,
and he was wild, man.
He was like a sleazy kind of like journalist guy, right? Or something.
No, he was a Hollywood producer.
That he was a.
And I think that he was playing it that way because of his experiences in Hollywood.
Yes, dealing with sleazy people. Yeah, as a child,
for sure. But I think, in my opinion, he's the final girl. That's just my opinion. If you don't like it, I don't know.
I disagree. But I really, really like the character because it's basically little boy Tom Savini.
Oh yeah, with that building of the masks and everything.
Yeah, definitely a shout to that. And it sets up, and we've already did the other two, so we can go ahead and get into it. It sets up the trilogy really with that character because it's all about him.
Yeah, definitely. The only one to like really like of course Adrian King was in 1 and then 2, but died right away. Nobody has really went on
right
in the
series. Now here's the thing. Obviously Corey was only in 4 and 5, not 6. It's Tom Matthews, but then he was only in the opening scene of 5. But the character Tommy Jarvis dealt with human Jason, zombie Jason, and the middle part with imposter Jason. He's been through them all.
He's been through them all. Yeah, like I mean, Tommy is Friday the 13th, Jamie Lee Curtis, or if you would prefer Heather Langenkamp, Friday or Nightmare on Elm Street.
Even like the Sydney of Scream.
That's it.
Yeah,
he's our Sydney, our Jamie. So after him, you had Joan Freeman, who was Mrs. Jarvis,
whose husband, and his name escapes me, was a big-time TV director, but he was also a race car driver. He was the last person to talk to James Dean.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting fact.
Yeah, him and another friend of his were at this place. They were driving their fancy cars around, and they were going to meet for dinner down the coast in an hour. And 30 minutes later on the way, James Dean got his fatal car wreck. So, and that guy just passed away 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really? Wow.
Joan Freeman's husband. She's still living.
Huh.
I remember her on Lassie. She was the doctor, the veterinarian.
Yeah, a lot of these guys were in other things, and most of it was like, just bit parts in other shows.
Yeah.
And nobody, not really, only two of them really had huge careers. And
She had
the next, go
She
ahead.
had a big part. I'm sorry. She had a big part in Elvis movie as like his like girlfriend once too.
Okay.
Like way back when she was probably 20 years old.
So, and like I said, the only other really big actor in the film was Crispin Glover,
Oh yeah,
who was Jimmy,
yeah.
was in Back to the Future, and Willard was his two biggest films that I put, but he's done all kinds of stuff. And
Actually, just watched a movie with him in it the other night.
what'd you watch?
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh yeah, that's right. So
Yeah,
he
he's
went
the
back
bell-
to
he's the
back in
bellhop.
he went back in time twice.
Yeah, he
Or
did.
in movies involving time travel. He didn't go back in time in the other one.
Right.
But,
He was
somebody went back
the,
in time and changed his reality.
yeah, he was the one-armed bellhop.
Yeah, and then he had two arms.
Yeah. And they're like, how did it happen? Yeah, that's no master cinema or anything, but again, it's an entertaining little movie.
Oh yeah, no, I like it. I like it a lot. Then also in Back to the Future, you had Lisa Freeman, who was R. Morgan, the nurse, which was
Robbie
the name was
Morgan.
yeah, it was a shout out to Robbie Morgan from Part 1.
Yeah. She was one of Lorraine's little friends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, her name was Babs.
Yeah, just like the dude with the fucking, not the 3D glasses, but one of the guys that was hanging out with Biff was a young Billy Zane before he got famous. Back to the Future.
Oh, right on. I thought you were going to go with Flea. He was in one or two of them.
He was in Part 2
Needles.
and Part 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Needles.
Mm-hmm.
Just put your card in the slot, McFly. What are you, chicken?
Such a great trilogy. So we're talking about this trilogy. We're talking about that trilogy. A lot of trilogies, and a trilogy on Saturday night of the Dead films.
That's right.
So there's Lisa Freeman, Crispin Glover. We talked about Bonnie Hillman. She was the hitchhiker.
The banana.
Killed
Yeah.
by Savini.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played Jason in that role, uncredited. Let's see. Sean says something here. He says Casey Siamasko.
Yep. That Seismico.
Was it 3D Jerry from 3 O'Clock High?
Yeah, he went on to be famous too, like Billy Zane. He was also in Young Guns. Casey Seismico.
Okay, Young Guns is great.
Of course.
And then the last name I got written down is the twins, Carrie and Camilla Moore, Tina and Terry.
Yeah. Yeah. Doublemint twins.
Yeah.
One of them went to audition. They were trying out for the role that Judy Aronson got.
Yep.
And she didn't get it, but then they saw she had a twin, so they offered them this part, and they actually wrote this part in because they're like, "Oh, we got twins."
Right, but that's not exactly true. She would have got it, but she didn't want to do the nudity.
Oh, okay.
And then when they heard she had a twin, they invented the part like you said. But then that part had nudity, but her sister talked her into doing that, so it was okay.
I think her sister had a bright future as a producer then.
So yeah, I seen that, but I didn't write that down. So I'm glad you brought it up. So yeah. Darcy DeMoss was in the aerobicized video.
She was.
She went on to be in Part 6.
Yeah, and we're forgetting an Axel, Bruce Mailer.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name, but Police Academy, right?
Yeah, Police Academy, and also the rabbi from Seinfeld.
Yep. I checked him out, but I don't know why I didn't write him down. Did I write him down? I just missed him.
Yeah, it was Fackler, the bumbling cop from Police Academy.
Yeah.
That got into all the accidents and set up those crazy, like, rube, whatever you call it, like, effects going on. And
this came up somewhere else recently, but what's up with the guys doing the autopsies always eating when the bodies are being brought in? Is that always a thing? Like he's got a sandwich and shit. Like, dude, dead bodies and you're just eating. It's gross.
Like in Jason Goes to Hell, the coroner is like, in my professional opinion, guy's deader than shit.
That is great.
And he's like eating, right? He's eating too.
I think he's eating too because
Yeah.
they brought in takeout.
Yeah.
And just anytime there's an autopsy guy, he's always eating. Like, oh, I mean, I guess you probably just get used to it, but yeah. So,
I think maybe they do that just because the average viewer would just be like,
yeah,
right, aghast at that, like, ugh.
Yeah, it's probably by design.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So, did you have anybody else from the list that we wanted to talk about?
Well, Barbara Howard is Sarah.
Barbara Howard is Sarah. I did not write her down. She was cute though.
Big character too.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't get talked about a lot, but on our Not the Final Girls episode, I talked about her a bit.
Yeah, she was up there. Yeah, she was up there on your list.
She was.
Mm-hmm. She may have been on Brian's list too, or did he do the girls, the twins? I don't remember.
I don't remember who he picked from this one. I think he might have went with Judy Aronson, actually.
Yeah. Actually, I think we all three had different. Well, we didn't necessarily pick ones from every movie like he did, but
right.
I definitely had the girls from this one.
Yeah,
and I counted them as one slot.
Yeah.
So, and then you have, of course, the great Ted White.
Mm.
The best Jason by most people's opinion.
The same people. The majority of people pick Kane Hodder.
You think more people would pick Kane Hodder than Ted White?
I would bet you $1 million.
Right on.
Although you and I both disagree with that.
Yeah.
But that's the big thing is Kane Hodder is the best Jason, and everyone says it. And I still don't understand why.
Most hardcore fans would still think that, or just most people just because they know his name?
Oh, I don't know.
Now,
if it was only super hardcore fans voting, oh man. I think Richard Brooker would be closer to the top.
Brooker's always up there.
Yeah.
Brooker, Ted White, those are always big ones. But he was really good. We'll definitely get more into him, but he did everything.
Yeah, Ted White did everything. Not only the oldest person to play Jason, he also
58.
The only Jason actor so far and forever that was older than Betsy Palmer.
I think I had something like that written down.
He was a year older than Betsy Palmer.
11 months older than Betsy Palmer. Yep, I got it written right there. My number 5 fact about the film.
Yeah, and unless we have 100-year-old Jason just show up tomorrow, we're never going to have another one older than Betsy Palmer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he'll definitely hold that record forever.
Also, he was the oldest living person to ever appear in any Friday the 13th film at 96 years old.
96, yeah, when he passed a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Was it about 2 years ago?
About 2 years ago.
Yeah, give or take. But he was stuntman for John Wayne. He was a military guy, right? Wasn't he a Marine?
I'm not sure if it was a Marine, but he was a military guy.
Yeah. Second tallest Jason at 6'5", 6'4", 6'5". Was it 6'5"?
I think it's 6'4" because I think Kurzinger and Mears are 6'5".
Yeah, they're both they're the tallest. So whatever they are, he's got to be smaller than that.
Yeah.
But 58 at the time playing him.
Yeah,
so he wasn't even young then.
No,
or close to it. He was eligible for AARP then.
He was older than Corey Feldman's grandpa.
Mm-hmm. And he was he definitely had lots of problems with the director and
Corey Feldman.
He said of Corey Feldman, he did that Corey Feldman had problems, but he said some positive things about him too.
He did. He said he was a little fucking brat and he couldn't wait to get his hands on him.
Yeah. He said that. But he also, that's at the end of the movie. We'll talk about that later. I don't want to fast forward too much. So that's the cast in a nutshell.
I think it's a phenomenal cast.
Yeah. What are you doing over there?
Oh, we forgot about Lawrence Moranson.
And who's that?
Teddy.
Oh my God! How do we forget Teddy?
Teddy Bear, man. Can't
I
forget
don't
Teddy
have him
Bear.
on me.
Got to give Teddy Bear a kiss and check the
That-
old computer.
Yeah, I didn't even know his shoot name.
Lawrence Moronson.
Because for some reason, when I was taking notes, he didn't come up.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking all these characters, they all have personalities and they all have their own things going on, and he's all over this thing.
Oh yeah, I mean he's a very integral part of the cast. He's not even just like a side guy like Paul
Right.
or
Right.
Doug. Paul or Doug wasn't that big of a deal, but he is. He has probably the most lines of any of them. In that in that house.
Yeah, he's up there. Yeah. So yeah, I think overall though, I think this cast might be the best one. And
you think
I say that because like all these people are all relatable. They're not total stereotypes like the kids in part 3.
Or the kids in the last one we just watched.
Yeah, which are all just Hollywood pretty people.
Yeah. And they were all token somethings.
Yeah.
Token jock, token black guy.
Right.
Token hot chick.
Right. In this film, it's not the case. And then it includes too, next door, we have a family, and that's a whole new dynamic too, having a family there.
Yeah, the Jarvises. And you know that the Jarvis house was used in like everything.
It's still there too, and like those people probably get harassed all the time.
Yeah, they a couple owners ago used to let you go into it, and these people don't. But
yeah,
I guess they don't give you shit for taking pictures of it, as long as you respectful, not an asshole. But it was I found out it was used in the Ed Gein movie from 2000. Did you ever see that?
I did not.
I have it on DVD. I'll let you use it. It's really cool.
Last thing I saw it in was Entourage.
It was the house in the movie for Ed Gein where they ended up arresting him.
Okay.
So it was his like neighbor's house.
It's a pretty awesome looking house, man.
Absolutely. It was also used in a Twilight Zone episode in the 80s.
Yeah, in 85. Shit doesn't count.
It shit doesn't count?
No,
I haven't seen any of those ones. I'm still on the OG ones. And
there's a few that are pretty good, but overall it's...
Obviously no Rod Serling, right?
No. There's a few that are pretty good, though. Like, there's one that's damn good, but, it's called Paladin of the Lost Hour. But anyway.
Right on.
But yeah, the setting too. I love the setting in this. Like the houses are close enough together, but far enough apart.
Yeah, where you can have your own thing going on.
Yeah, and the party house that the kids are in wasn't a real house. It was just a set that was built.
Yeah,
that wasn't even a house that you could like go in. It's just an exterior.
Yeah, and it had a lake, so that was cool.
Again, nothing like the OG Crystal Lake. There's nothing like that.
No, nothing's ever going to be. I believe this one was filmed in California.
It definitely was filmed near LA because it's like Laurel Canyon, and I think is the city where that house is. So, which is not far from LA.
Well, we're our first little we're introduced not where we're introduced to everybody. Where the Jarvises meet the people in the house, right? Where the scene where everybody's skinny dipping.
Yeah.
That was all right. Yeah, Corey kind of like that. I guess they had to like hide stuff like that from him because he was only 12.
Yeah,
but then he had to still react to it like seeing it.
Like it was 1984, different times,
Yeah.
Now there'd be like constant chaperone.
Oh yeah, I mean, God, hopefully, with all the stuff that goes on.
He wouldn't even be there. Those shots would be shot separately, and they'd shoot him like by himself, and then just edit it together now.
Right on.
But no, like just the whole feel, the setting, the characters in and of themselves, like it's great. There's no real negatives to this film.
I can't. I mean, I'm gonna be interested to hear your bottom 5. To be honest with you, because there's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot that you can not like about this film.
Well, remember when we did the part 6 review? I just had a bottom 1.
Okay. Yeah.
In this one, I have a bottom 1.5.
Bottom 1.5. Okay.
Yeah. we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Did anything you want to
yeah,
pick out and talk about this one?
Sure. There's a couple things I want to mention before we get to the whole
the
rundown.
Bottom fives and the top fives.
Yeah. I love the opening shot.
Me too. I noticed that today, like with the helicopter light and everything.
Yeah. And you could tell they actually spent some money on that, and it was very well done. And it's the exact shot of the end of part 3, which was also shot in LA, California.
And the same set and everything they still had.
Yeah.
And there's the only one where one of these sets carried over.
Yeah. And there's all this chaos going on and all these vehicles and all these people and just all this set. And then everything just dissipates. And then we have the shot of just that camp. And there's just nothing there anymore. And it's insane to me that just all this crazy shit happened the night before. And then all this emergency vehicles and people were there. And then now it's just nothing. I thought that was very well done.
Yeah, me too. I love the opening. And when they come and they pick up all the bodies. And it's just, I like how the first, these 3, you have the Jarvis trilogy starting with this one. But then you also 2, 3, and 4 were so together too,
Yes. Yeah.
And then later, not so much,
No.
6 didn't go into 7, 7 didn't go into 8, and so on and so forth.
But, there's tie-ins where you're still in the lake under the chain at the beginning of 7, but you've been down there for 10 years or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But no, I get what you're saying. Also, right away, the kills are so good. The very first 2 we get in the hospital are fucking awesome. And right away we see this Jason ain't messing around.
Yeah.
These kills are way better than not only in part 3, but in anything we've seen in this series so far.
Yeah. Tom Savini came back with a bang for sure.
Yeah, he did.
The bone saw and definitely good stuff. Yeah, this Jason, like you said, he wasn't messing around because in 3 he was injured from part 2, so he was more defensive than offensive. In this one, he's just done. He's offensive for sure. Yeah,
and another thing too about this Jason, why I love it so much. There's no goofiness or fucking around like in 3 with the mask and all.
Yeah,
no silliness. This is just I'm gonna fucking kill you. Yeah,
he didn't play any games with anybody.
No.
There's not. Yeah,
no. This to me, when I think of Jason Voorhees, this is the one. This is the one.
Yeah. Ironically, though, I know I just looked this up recently, but if this isn't the least time Jason's on screen, it's the second least time. And the least time is not Jason Goes to Hell. Everybody thinks it is. It's not.
Part 1.
Oh, obviously. All right, okay. Excluding part 1. Excluding part 1. I forget what the actual totals are, and I'll find those, and we'll talk about them another time. But this, if you don't include the time he's on the slab under the sheet, then it's the least.
It's still enough, though. It's
oh no, enough. God, yeah. I mean, it was every bit of him being on the screen was impactful, and when he was lurking in the shadows, it was extremely impactful. When you didn't actually see him, but you knew he was there. Yeah, so it definitely worked better than Jason Goes to Hell or whatever the third one is where he was hardly seen, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Yeah, I didn't even really notice that because it's just so
of course impactful. Yeah, it matters so much, and he was, yeah, definitely. So just a little fun fact, if you will. Speaking of fun facts, did I talk about all these already? So we got the whole crew in the car, which is a Friday the 13th thing. You have to pack 9 people in a 4-seater car, whatever. That's
character bomb or bust.
They got people packed in the trunk, and just like in 2009, it's that big car, but I mean, I don't think it was meant to hold that many people. And they're on their way to the Crystal Lake, and they drive past Pam's tombstone, and this pisses me off, just like the last one. They say 1979 was when she died.
Mm-hmm.
And that only happened because in these movies, people didn't pay attention to enough shit. And Zito probably heard the film was shot in 79 and assumed that the movie took place in 79.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody corrected him because nobody really paid attention to shit like that then. And it wasn't 79, it was 1980.
Yep.
Yeah. No Friday the 13th in June in 1979. Couldn't be 79. But yeah. And where we learned. Oh, this is the first time we learned Pam's first name too.
That is true.
Yeah, because she was just Mrs. Voorhees prior.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't think she was even mentioned in 3.
No, because Jason wasn't even mentioned in 3.
Yeah, Jason's name was never even said, except for the flashbacks. So yeah, there's no reason to have her.
So yeah, I just wanted to mention, again, that opening scene, and then just how insane everything is. The Jason that kills, just all of it. And my top 5 for this was actually really hard because I like so many things about this movie.
Do you have multiple kills in your top 5?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Let's just bust into them, man.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I'll do the bottom because I got 1.5 things.
That sounds good.
I only have, my bottom 1.5 for Friday the 13th.
I don't know if I have anything, but we'll see.
It's my least favorite things about Friday the 13th, the final chapter, aka part 4. 1.5 things. The half thing is I feel like the Rob character was kind of shoehorned in. Because if you want to do the continuity thing, his sister Sandra from part 2, which we'll talk about when we cover part 2.
Yeah.
That only happened like 2 days earlier.
Yeah, he's already, got maps and all this other shit.
Yeah,
doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Right. He's already this expert on Jason and tracking and all of this and knows the area. And this is before Google, people. All you got is newspaper clippings, and there's only been one newspaper that's came out. She died.
Right.
So I feel
if
like
that small town, they might have only a weekly.
Yeah, and I feel like he was kind of shoehorned in because they needed him for the plot, to introduce this character, and that's just a little thing. That's not too big of a deal. Again, this is a horror movie here. There's going to be continuity errors and this and that. So that's my half nitpick. And my least favorite thing about this movie also involves the same character, and I already think you know where I'm going with this.
I don't know. Go ahead.
He's killing me.
Okay. If I had to guess, that's where I was going to go. And just
It's
this
dumb.
guy in general. Could we have did the movie without him? Would we have accomplished the same thing?
I don't know, because it could have been. We needed somebody in that spot. But maybe not necessarily him. But again, that goes in. They shoehorned him in. He's supposed to be this big expert, and as soon as Jason is face to face with him, he dispatches him with no problem.
Yeah, and he goes out like a little girl too.
Yeah, he's killing me.
It was the worst death in history.
It's bad.
It's
just bad.
Definitely, he was definitely the only thing I didn't like about this movie. And again, I didn't even think about it until you brought it up. So it's not that bad of a thing, It's not something that really sticks out.
And I like the scene he had with Corey Feldman up in his bedroom showing him.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. And his little Trish love interest kind of thing. It was fine. I don't think we needed it, but it was whatever.
So couldn't you have just been a tough guy that she ran into on the side of the road that was messing with his motorcycle?
That's probably would have been better.
He don't have to be related to anybody. He doesn't even really have to know the Jason legend or anything, Could have been, that would have been much better. And it's the same guy.
Who instead of, he's killing me, would have,
died fighting.
Died fighting to give her enough of a chance to get away.
Exactly.
So we
or took a machete to the face to save Tommy from taking one to the face, or something. Yeah, definitely. Sorry, we already fixed it. We fixed the only thing wrong with the movie. It took us 10 seconds. So.
Yeah, exactly.
They should. So the 5 things you did like about the movie, though, or should I say that you liked the most about the movie?
Yeah. And 5 and 4 kind of tie into each other, but we'll do them separately. My top 5 things I did like about Friday the 13th, the final chapter, aka Part 4. Number 5, I mentioned this when we were talking earlier, the family dynamic. As we see a family, and how often in a horror movie, slasher movie like this, people are going away, not necessarily to camp because these aren't camp counselors, but for a summer thing. But there's a family there.
Yeah,
and I just really like that dynamic because
and
I feel like it added more tension to it being a fatherless family too. Added a dimension to it.
With no protector.
Yeah, and it made the tight knitness, the closeness. They felt closer.
That as well, not having the father figure around, and they were that's a fresh thing because I think they hinted at them. They said that how they would want them to hope they would get back together, and
yeah,
I don't think there was a divorce or anything at this point. I think they were just separated, and then there was thought that they might work it out.
And I gotta throw this in too. This is like the first time in this series, like, we get this family dynamic. I don't want any of them to die, which is weird because I always want Jason to kill everyone.
Yeah, but at this time we hadn't gotten to that point. I don't think as much.
Fair enough.
Most of the characters you actually did care about, and you were the murderer, the crazy guy was the bad guy, and then it kind of flipped because the cast became so annoying that you just couldn't wait for them to die.
Mm-hmm.
But like in 1 for sure, I mean, there was nobody in 1 you wanted to die, right?
Ned.
If anybody, but even then, and then 2 didn't have anybody you wanted to kill. Maybe in 3.
Shelly got to go. I like Shelly, but he had to go.
So, like up to this point, they were giving us characters that were pretty good. Just got the contract from that movie company about my short story. Nice. Charles Sherrod, let me bring this up so you can see it. So he says, just got the contract from the movie company about the short story that want to make it. Nice. Taking up a lot of time. Got to get over to my show. Great show tonight, guys. Awesome, Charles, man. I'll talk to you later about that. That sounds fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's doing Wes Craven tonight. I believe he's probably just doing a retrospective of his career with different clips from different films. So check that out after we're off of here. If you're not a football fan and you're not watching the draft.
Big football news just came through too. AJ Brown just agreed to a 3-year extension worth $96 million from the Eagles.
Ain't that about something?
$84 million guaranteed.
Aaron is watching or was watching. I'm not sure if it was or is. But what's up, Aaron, if you are there?
So back to this. Number 4 favorite thing about this is the young cast across the way.
Mm-hmm.
2 people mainly, but I like the whole thing. And we get 2 people with full character arcs that complete. One being, of course, Jimmy Crispin Glover's character. And the other, way less talked about, Barbara Howard's Sarah. Her arc completes too.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that. With not only one, but we have 2 side characters or whatever that have arcs complete totally in this movie.
Yeah.
You never get that. Like they put that much time into these characters for you to want to relate to them and like them. And I did. And yeah, you want to see Jason kill people, but it's more impactful when you give a shit about the character.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you get that effect instead of,
like last week when we talked about when Danielle Panabaker gets fucking killed in that movie. What? You know?
Yep.
I mean, yeah, they did it for shock value. Still, I don't like it, but whatever. That was that movie. That is this one. So that was number 4. Just the whole cast, how the young people get their arcs in, and just everything. The whole Bruce Mailer is so hilarious in the beginning.
Oh yeah. Even like the pre ramble.
Yeah, and the nurse too. You were the Super Bowl of self abuse. Who wrote that? That's great. But who wrote that?
They weren't just throwaway characters.
No, they're great.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 favorite thing about this film is the return of Tom Savini and the kills in general, they're all good except for he's killing me. I like.
Which one was your favorite?
Does Jason's count?
Ooh, yeah, it does. But
then that
was a good one, wasn't it?
Then that's the one.
Now, in that scene, because Corey Feldman had a lot of problems with the director. Everybody had problems with this director.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people did. Like somebody commented earlier, Sean commented earlier about how he kept Judy Aronson. I keep calling her Jody.
It's Judy.
In the freezing lake.
Yeah, and Ted White told him to fuck off.
He's gonna walk off.
Yeah.
Yeah. He threatened to leave and just started to set the guy straight, and they had that. And I guess he was giving he had words with them about Corey as well. And when Corey is chopping and the die, he's hitting like a sandbag or something, but in his mind he's picturing the director.
Yeah.
And I think that was Ted's idea. I think I read it was Ted's idea.
Some good motivation.
Got the anger on him.
Yeah, good motivation.
Yeah. And another note that everybody knows about the movie, though, that Ted White did not give Corey any forewarning that he was jumping through the window. Yeah. The sheer terror on his screen was definitely legit, and that made Ted's day because Corey was, he was an aggravating little kid too, and that was his way to get even with them.
All the kills are cool.
But I don't think he hated them. I think he was just
even
somebody that old is annoyed by kids.
Peter Barton getting his face smashed in the shower. Crispin Glover, the corkscrew meat cleaver kill, classic.
That's my favorite.
Oh, it's so good. And it's so quick. And it was so easy for them to make, too. But it just, when you go back and look, they just did it backwards. Like, they started with it in his head and then pulled it out. And then just did it backwards, Yeah, it was like
movie magic.
Yeah. But it was still so cool. Just all those effects, like everything. Axel basically getting decapitated with that hacksaw at the beginning is so gruesome. Nurse getting gutted with a scalpel, it just all looks so good. So.
Yeah, really good effects. Even when Jason gets his hand split.
Yeah, that's good too.
That's good stuff.
But the best
final blow.
Kill, the best kill though is, if that one counts, is Jason's at the end, sliding down that machete blade. Is just so gnarly, and his face is still moving too, so it isn't just like they use a watermelon or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Some real practical effects.
Yeah, and Tom's the godfather of gore. For a reason.
Yep, and this movie is one of the big reasons why.
Absolutely.
My number 2 favorite thing, and we haven't even mentioned this. There's no need to until now. The Harry score. It's one of the best.
It's going to be in the top 5 every time.
Not every time, but usually.
When has his score not been in the top 5?
I'd have to go back and look, but
I know music hasn't been.
Yeah,
but that wasn't because of him.
Yeah, that's true.
Music was actually in the bottom 5.
Yeah, it was.
Because
last week it was, because he didn't do the score for that one.
He didn't do the score.
No, but yeah, I love pretty much all the cues in this one, and especially during the climatic end chase back and forth the houses with Trish. Music is fucking perfect.
Yeah.
It's probably, if not my second, my third favorite score that he's done. And that particular cue is a top 5 cue, and there's 100 cues in this series.
Yeah.
Just that cue, at the end, is just so good. So there's one though that we haven't discussed yet though, that has my favorite cue. Single cue in the whole series, but we haven't done that movie.
We'll get to that.
You and I watched that movie. You and I watched that movie together outdoors somewhere a couple of years ago. Hint, hint. And I even said this is the best piece of music he's ever done.
You did say that. And
I did.
we were actually with him.
We were.
So
we ate dinner with him that night.
Yeah, my favorite music he did was opposite for me is part 1. It's just amazing.
The whole score overall, part 1 is the best, but I'm talking just
this piece of music,
individual cues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that cue at the end of this one, I think, is better than any singular cue in part one. But overall, the part one score is better.
Right.
So that's number 2. And number 1, what else could it be? My favorite thing about this film is Ted White's portrayal of Jason Voorhees.
Absolutely. Yeah,
He
I mean,
is the guy.
if I had a 5 and a 2, mine would have probably been identical. I mean, really, like I'm surprised you didn't wear your part 4 shirt today. I would have bet money you were going to.
Yeah, I just grabbed this first
Is
thing
it like
out.
you don't wear
Fresh
the
out of
band
the
you're going to see, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, but his Jason is just so brutal, so menacing, just so imposing. The way he just crashes through that door. The way he crashes through that door at the end, man, just like, dude, it's time to die.
Is that the first time he did the crash through the door gimmick?
Yes.
Yeah, because he didn't in 2 for sure, right?
No, or 3.
Yeah. 3, there was no door really to crash through, I don't think. Yeah, it's got to be
He crashed through the window in part 2.
Yeah, at the end, but not the explosion through the door.
Right.
Right. That that would be used later and later in the films.
Yeah, it's like his "Here's Johnny" moment.
Oh yeah.
And just everything about him. No wasted movement, like a good pro wrestler in the ring. Just everything about him. The look too. We didn't even get into that. I love the look of this Jason. I love that hockey mask.
It fits, right?
Yes, and I am not a big cosplayer, but when I have, this is the one. Yeah.
Oh, the draft has started.
Well,
the draft is live, and we are going to wrap this up real soon, guys. If anybody's even still here, we got a couple people still here.
Yeah, all we got to do now is grade this son of a bitch, huh?
Yeah, we can grade this son of a bitch, hype next week's show, and we'll go from there.
I went first last week, so you go first this time.
Okay, I thought so. All right, so for me, oh man, it's kind of tough, man. Curious if you'll grade this higher than me. It's above a C, that's for sure. It's probably in my top 5 films in the series. It's not number 1, number 2, number 3. Might be 4, but it's not 1, 2, or 3. But again, I always grade these not in how much I like the movie, but how well the movie's done. And since the only thing that we got wrong with this movie that we could even find was Eric Anderson, Rob, and we found a way to just totally eliminate him from the movie. So I am going to give this a B.
Okay.
B. I was leaning towards B-. I'm going B.
Yeah.
And stopping it from being an A is probably this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I don't see much of anything wrong with it. And there was nothing really wrong with him, but, just plot holes. Why is he there after a day? Why is he super survival guy? And if he is super survival guy, why does he die like that? So
yeah, again, those were my nitpicks to this. Just like part 6, I only really had the one issue with it.
Yeah.
And it's like an issue and a half. For me, this is, I don't know, how many long form reviews have we done? 20, something like that.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we did other movies and other franchises.
And I think I've only graded a movie higher than you maybe 3 times.
If that.
Well,
I can think of 2.
Let's say it's been, say I've only done it twice.
3, but I think of 2. Because you're much harsher critic than I am.
If it's only been twice, this is going to be the 3rd time.
Okay.
Friday the 13th, the final chapter, is absolutely an A for me.
Right.
A straight A, no minus, no plus. It's an A.
Okay.
I think it's a phenomenal slasher film. I think if you took a person and had never seen a Friday the 13th movie and you just had one shot to get them into the series, I think this is the one you show them.
It's the blueprint for a slasher film.
I agree.
Everything is perfect about it, except for Eric Anderson.
Right. But again, though, if you don't know who Sandra is and you haven't seen part 2, that doesn't
exactly
matter. So that's why, somebody that's never seen a Friday the 13th movie, you show them this one.
What did you give 6?
An A, also an A.
An A as well. And you graded one lower than me. I know that. I think I gave one an A.
I think I gave that a B plus, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So that'd be right on. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And thanks, Rosa. Rosa popped in and said, great show. We're just about gonna wrap this up because we're gonna, both of us are probably interested in watching the draft. I might shoot over to Adam, see if he's at home. Go watch it over there a little bit. But damn it. Should I even play it now? Or is it out of place? The video? Yeah. It's on YouTube. I had the video pulled up of the actual dancing scene. I'm gonna play it. I took the time to get this goddamn thing.
All right.
We're gonna play it. We're gonna play it. It takes like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, where did it go? All right. And then I go over here.
Somewhere out there.
I can't get back.
Waiting for the show. I got my snacks.
All right. And I got to hit add to stage. So this is the way it was supposed to go. The silly dancing scene with Crispin. This was right on, Rosa. It's cool. But this was the song that was really playing before they dubbed it out with what's the name of the song, Ryan?
Love is a Lie by Lion.
Which is a great song. It probably makes it seem better. But I always wondered if you could see what he was really dancing to, what it would look like, and if it would be better. I don't know if it's like he's still not feeling this beat. You know what I mean? Like, all right, there's that. I took the time to get that. I was gonna play it much earlier and forgot.
And you could see the look on that twin's face, like, I'm getting paid to do this right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Should have been chewing Doublemint gum somewhere.
So that's Friday the 13th, part 4. Next week we got William Instone from Sawyer Massacre. We had the director of that on a while ago, and it's a pretty cool fan film of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then we also have a week after that, the biggest show I think we've ever done.
Yeah.
Melanie Kinnaman, Final Girl from part 5.
I will be live in the studio for that one.
Okay, cool. And we'll have Melanie on, and really excited about that. It'll be the day after my birthday.
That's right.
And if anybody wants to go on Saturday to the Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead at the drive-in, hit me up. I got room in the car because right now I'm going solo, man. I got nobody going with me. But I'm gonna go by myself. I don't care because
I'll meet up with you afterwards, regardless.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I want to see Night of the Living Dead on a big screen. It'd be really cool.
I'd love to see Dawn of the Dead. Want to see our old pal Marty Schiff get butchered on the big screen.
Yeah. So that'd be cool. I mean, that guy's missing the boat, man. If he could have got there instead of a booth, he probably could have made some money signing 8x10s.
Yeah, he could.
I was gonna suggest it to him, but I didn't want to because he's coming for the Ohio Terracon, and I didn't want to like flood the ruin that for him. Because everybody got him then, they might not get him then.
That, and right now too, he's still busy, teaching college classes at Cincinnati. So
yeah. Rob says too far for him to come unless we could pick him up. Hey, if it wasn't so late, man, I might do that for you. But we're gonna. It'll be a miracle if I stay awake through all 3 movies, let alone drive 3 hours away.
That's a fact.
I shall do my best. That's all I can do. Did you have anything you wanted to add? Anything you want to talk about?
Not really. Just hope the Bucks draft a corner or at least some help on defense tonight. And Cavs are kicking the Magic's ass in this playoff series like I thought they would. So congratulations on a first round victory.
Yeah, it's still a long series to go. We'll see.
No, it's not.
Are they playing now?
Yeah.
What's the score now? Do you know?
I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll check it out.
It started when we started, so it's probably about halftime.
Somebody, oh yeah, my feed are talking about AJ Brown's money, but okay, right on. So,
My girlfriend is now home too, so it's probably a good time to cut this.
right on. Here we go.
There goes the neighborhood.